The trade war that no one saw coming. Donald Trump's latest tariffs have ignited a firestorm, and now Canada is threatening to hit back in a way that could shake the global economy. This isn't just another trade dispute. This is a showdown over one of the world's most critical resources, energy. One of the world's most critical resources, energy. If Canada cuts off energy exports to the U.S., we could see gas prices skyrocket, supply chains disrupted, and America turning to countries like Saudi Arabia, Venezuela, and even Russia for oil. Could this become the next great economic crisis? Could Trump counterattack and make Canada pay the price? Buckle up, because this is about to get serious. Chapter 1. How did we get here? Trump's trade war with Canada. To understand why Canada is considering this extreme move, we need to go back to the root of the problem. Trump's America First trade policies. During his presidency, Trump vowed to fix what he saw as unfair trade deals that he claimed were costing American jobs and hurting the economy. One of Trump's biggest targets? NAFTA, the North American Free Trade Agreement. Trump argued that NAFTA was the worst trade deal ever and pushed to replace it with the USMCA, the United States-Mexico-Canada Agreement. But even after renegotiating NAFTA, Trump still wasn't happy. So, what did he do? He imposed a 25% tariff on Canadian steel and a 10% tariff on aluminum in 2018, claiming it was necessary for national security. Canada was outraged, but instead of backing down, Trump doubled down. He even went after Canada's dairy industry, which he claimed was unfairly subsidized by the Canadian government. Fast forward to today, and we're seeing the consequences of Trump's aggressive trade stance. Canada is now considering using one of its biggest weapons, energy exports, to fight back. Chapter 2. Why energy exports matter. Canada's secret weapon. Let's talk numbers. The U.S. gets a staggering 20% of its crude oil from Canada. That's over 3.5 million barrels per day. If Canada cuts off that supply, the impact could be devastating. Think about it. Every time you fill up your gas tank, part of that fuel comes from Canada. Every factory that relies on natural gas? Canada. Every airline that needs jet fuel? Canada. If Canada decides to turn off the tap, it wouldn't just affect the U.S. It would cause a ripple effect throughout the global economy. Key facts. Canada is the #1 supplier of crude oil to the U.S. Over 50% of Canada's oil exports go directly to the U.S. Natural gas exports from Canada power millions of American homes. Cutting off energy exports could cause U.S. oil prices to surge by 30 to 50% within months. But here's the catch. Canada relies on U.S. oil refineries to process its crude oil. So if they stop exporting, they could be hurting themselves as well. Could this move backfire on Canada? Or is this a calculated risk they're willing to take? Chapter 3. Trump's response. Will he hit back harder? Donald Trump has never been one to back down from a fight. Whether it was China, Mexico, or the European Union, Trump has always played hardball in trade negotiations. And Canada? They're no exception. If Canada moves forward with this energy embargo, Trump could retaliate in several ways. First, he could impose even harsher tariffs on Canadian goods, everything from lumber to automobiles. Second, he could fast-track U.S. oil production, opening up drilling in areas that were previously restricted. And third, he could push for energy independence by making deals with OPEC, Venezuela, or even Russia. But here's the problem. Many of these options aren't quick fixes. Expanding U.S. oil production takes time, and negotiating with foreign energy suppliers could put the U.S. in a weaker position. The real question is Trump willing to risk an all-out economic war with one of America's closest allies? Or will he find a way to negotiate? Chapter 4. The economic fallout. What this means for you. Let's get personal. This isn't just about politicians and billion-dollar trade deals. This is about you. If this trade war escalates, the average American household will feel it immediately. Here's how it could hit your wallet. Gas prices. Expect to pay $5, $6, or even $7 per gallon if oil supplies drop. Inflation. Higher fuel costs mean higher prices for food, clothing, and transportation. Job losses. Industries that rely on Canadian imports, like auto manufacturing, could see mass layoffs. Stock market crash. If investors panic over an energy crisis, expect major market volatility. This isn't just an economic issue, it's a political one too. A trade war with Canada could become a major talking point in the 2024 election. Will voters blame Trump for this crisis, or will they rally behind him, seeing him as a leader who is willing to stand up for America? Chapter 5. What happens next? Will Canada follow through? At this point, we have to ask, is Canada serious about cutting off energy exports? Or is this just a negotiation tactic to pressure the U.S. into removing tariffs? Some experts believe Canada won't actually go through with this move because the risk is too high. Their economy depends on oil exports, and shutting them down could lead to a recession. But others argue that Canada has had enough, and they're willing to take the risk to stand up to Trump's aggressive trade policies. Either way, this situation is evolving fast. If Trudeau decides to act, we could see major consequences within weeks, not months. The big question now is, will Trump blink first, or will he double down? Final thoughts. Who will win this battle? So, who wins in this showdown? On one side, we have Donald Trump, a president who has built his career on tough trade deals and standing up to America's allies and enemies alike. On the other side, we have Canada, a country that supplies America with vital energy resources, but is now feeling the pressure of Trump's tariffs. If Canada follows through, the U.S. economy could face major disruptions. If Trump retaliates, Canada's own industries could collapse. This is a lose-lose scenario, unless both sides find a way to negotiate. So now, we turn it over to you. Do you think Canada should follow through on its threat? Will Trump fight back harder? And who will come out on top in this economic war? Let us know in the comments. And don't forget, subscribe to 45 in Focus for the latest updates on Trump, global politics, and breaking news.